All right. Well, here's another objection. How about this? Some might say that there are just some fundamental laws out there that are maybe yet to be discovered that will explain why the constants are this way. So if some other laws were discovered, would that undermine fine-tuning at all?
Well, let's look at the extreme case where we have a final theory. Physicists are searching for a final theory, some master set of equations that explain everything else. And let's suppose that final theory entails the values of all the constants. So given that final theory, we can completely explain why those constants are what they are. In fact, that was the hope of superstring theory, but kind of got busted about 10 or so years ago, that it would do that. Even if that were true, then it just pushes the issue of surprise up one level. Why that final theory versus any of the other ones that would entail different values for the constants? So why it'd be very surprising that the actual set of final laws would be such that they would entail just life-permitting values under chance than non-life-permitting values. Now, under theism, it wouldn't be surprising that God would, that'd be a very elegant way to do it, create a final set of laws that just gave you all the constants. So it's not surprising those laws would exist under a theistic hypothesis, but it is under the non-theistic hypothesis. Here's another analogy which you could use for that. Let's suppose you had a final theory that not only implied the constants of physics, but also implied all the initial conditions of the universe and determined everything else. Okay? So we have a complete explanation from that final theory why everything occurs. That still would not take away. It would still be very improbable. Let's say I found, I go up to the mountains and I find rocks arranged, welcome to the mountains, Robin Collins, just in that pattern. It would still be very improbable. And I have two hypotheses. My brother was up there and arranged them, and they just happen, earthquake happened, they follow in that pattern. Even though that final theory would explain it, it would still be very improbable that that would happen by chance. And versus my brother hypothesis, I would still say it was strong evidence my brother was up there and arranged them. Why? Because I would say of all the final theories there could be, it would be extremely improbable that it would just be the one that would entail this to happen. But it's not improbable if my brother did it. So there's still the improbability still occur. And you don't have to decide that question of whether there's such a final theory that would entail all the initial conditions and constants to make those ordinary inferences. So similarly in the case of the fine-tuning.